want to capture it. So can you guys scooch in a little bit? All right, outstanding. We're on the roll. Well, look, thanks everybody for being here today. This is one of our signature events for the year. It draws the finest people, both on stage and in the crowd. Thanks to the Robbins Regional Chamber for pulling this together today, and for the Museum of Aviation. What an amazing place to host events like this. We're thankful to have this as the crown jewel of Middle Georgia in our community. We've got an all-star lineup for you today. I'll lead off with a few comments from the installation level, then I'll pass the mic to each of the rock stars we've got lined up to give you a snap on their portion of our mission, and then we'll save some time for questions and answers. So, first, I'd like to highlight that this is the Air Force's 70th birthday. We look pretty good for 70 years old. We're getting along pretty fine. Your Air Force, for 7 decades now, has been providing relentless top cover for America in airspace and cyberspace. We're always there, and we've become so used to folks having us be there that we're kind of like the sun coming up and coming down. And when you've got that kind of reputation in the joint community, you're in a pretty good place. I do want to highlight, though, that we have 25,000 airmen deployed right now. They're deployed around the world, right next to our Army, Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard counterparts, and that includes 450 airmen from Robbins Air Force Base. And I ask when you get the time to include those deployed airmen and their families, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Very important to us. So last year, you know, Robbins, we celebrated our 75th anniversary. The base actually exceeds the birthday of the Air Force in itself, which is kind of cool. And you know, one of the things that we continue to celebrate is just an amazing partnership with you all as a community. In fact, and I'll probably hit on this a little bit later, the relationship that we have here just isn't seen anywhere else, and it's the envy. When I go into forums with other installation commanders, Air Base Wing commanders, and we talk about the things we do with our community and the way the community supports the base, they say, man, how do I get some of that? That's also a pretty good place to be. You know, one of the great examples of this community support is the Thunder Over Georgia Air Show that we put on last year. Who came out to that? You got a chance to see it? Yeah, right on, right on. So we worked together. The community raised $300,000 to match the $350,000 the base put forth, and together we funded an amazing event. And I got to tell you, the coolest thing, if you ever watch one of the youngins, look up and watch those Thunderbirds come screaming over. There is nothing more inspiring. Fantastic event. It was safe. 125,000 visitors on base. Another 20 to 25,000 lined the streets and filled the parking lots in the areas adjacent to base. Some of you may have been there. Just a huge event for us all. I'm told that 2-day activity and all the visitors it brought in generated about $18 million for local businesses. I'd say that's a pretty good return on investment, and we thank you very much for that. So amid this packed summer, the 78th Air Base Wing had a higher headquarters inspection from Air Force Materiel Command. They basically took a wire brush to us. It comes every couple of years. And I'm proud to say we emerged from that with an overall effective rating, and we produced the fewest number of deficiencies seen across the command in the last 2 years. So when it comes to compliance and doing the job, the Air Base Wing, which is the host unit for the installation, we're doing a pretty good job. We also received our first Air Force Outstanding Unit Award in 8 years for the work that had been done in the year or so previous. And finally, we pulled down over 40 higher headquarters awards from Air Force Sustainment Center, AFMC, and the Air Force itself. So the Air Base Wing, we continue to provide power projection for our 36 mission partners. We continue to do a fantastic job enabling them to get their mission done. A little closer to, well, and you know, it's also important to note, collectively, those 36 mission partners comprises Team Robbins. I just want to continue to assert to you that we are an absolutely vital part of the integrated fabric that contributes to our national defense. We fly missions out of this installation into every COCOM, combatant command. We deploy 5th Mob into places we don't even talk about. We generate aircraft and return to the field, and we repair parts for all of the other services. DLA and our supply chain management folks send parts everywhere across the world to all services and our multinational partners. So Robbins Air Force Base continues to be a vital part of not only our defense posture, but also the Air Force Sustainment Center, which has the overall responsibility of logistics for the United States Air Force. They have units at 8 primary bases. There are 3 Robins, Tinker, and Hill. We're one of the 3-legged stool that supports Air Force Sustainment Center, and we're proud to be a part of that phenomenal effort. But a little closer to home, our 2016 economic impact, and I know some of you have seen the numbers, but I think it's worth talking a little bit about here today, was $2.86 billion. That's up 4% over 2015, which is up 2% over 2014. So the growth in our economic impact is inspiring, not just us, but should be to you all as well. Just one key point in there, and I've got several numbers that I can give you later in Q&A if you want, but we awarded $490 million in contracts to firms in Georgia, and over 50% of those were awarded to firms in Houston County. So that economic impact is felt locally as well as across the state. Union relations, they continue to be an item of interest, not only at the local, but all the way up to the federal legislator level. I'm thankful that even while AFGE has been placed in trusteeship and just yesterday had a change in interim presidency, I'm thankful that this team, not only AFGE, but IAFF, our International Association of Firefighters, the current administration for each, and the past administration for each, huge partners, big on collaboration. There's a lot of ways to go about that relationship, and we work some tough issues together. But working together, collaborating, and finding a way to get to yes collectively, we've made Robins safer than it's ever been. All of our safety and caring for people metrics are all moving in the right direction. In fact, we just hit a 15-year low in workman's comp payouts as a result of voluntary protection program, work by the unions and the agency, and a great labor force. The place is as safe as it's ever been. And those dollars saved in workman's comp payouts, we can reinvest into new weapons systems or readiness. So that's a good story. It's all done right here. I can't say enough how important, I can't emphasize enough how important that spirit of cooperation is with our units, with our unions. We've had that the last several years, and it's been fantastic. And we're thankful that the current administration and the trusteeship in AFGE is working so well with us. They're not making it easy, right? They're doing a good job standing up for the people and the tough issues out there, but they're working with us on getting it right. We look forward to the next round of elections, and we're hopeful that the incoming administration will be as collaborative as the last two have been. So I know the civilian hiring freeze has been on everyone's mind. We have 22,000 employees here on Robins Air Force Base. 13,500 of those are civilians. Of that, 7,200 work in the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex. That has the complex has the largest density of civilians on the installation, and as you know, it's the engine of the installation, if you will. And many have already heard, but I'm thankful to report that the Secretary of Air Force has granted waivers for all of the needed positions in the air logistics complex. And that is truly fantastic. But what we're going back now is reemphasizing that it takes many agencies across the installation to support the ALC and keep it successful. Our folks in DLA and supply chain management that are moving parts, not only to the air logistics complex, but around the world, especially important. Our contracting personnel, our life cycle management folks that do cradle-to-grave logistics, engineering support, and technical order management that are housed here at Robins are essential to ALC operations. And I can't underscore the emphasis of the Air Base Wing, of course. Civil engineering, communications, medical, legal, many other things, personnel support, all those are vital to the machine. So we're working hard on a waiver package. We've submitted waivers for many organizations across the base as well. Those are working their way up through the chain. It takes a little bit of time. But I do want to just affirm to everyone that everyone up the chain, from leaders on the installation to the acting Secretary of the Air Force, we are fully engaged. We understand how important this is. Has there been an impact to the hiring freeze? Absolutely. And we're able to get at it and mitigate it some with overtime. But overtime's no way to live. People can't maintain that for long. It's not good for quality of life for those individuals or those families. And the longer we wait to get the hiring freeze lifted or to get the waivers in place, the harder it'll be to recover and the longer it'll take, especially once we turn the valve open on our personnel systems that have basically have backed up a little bit. It'll take a while to get through. But we're putting our weight behind it and doing everything we can. And our biggest hope is that we'll have more good news to announce across the installation. In the meantime, the ALC is chugging away hard. General Kubinick, I know, is looking forward to giving you his message himself. So with respect to community support, just a little bit, you know, as I said, Robbins, the support we have from the community, from you all and those you represent is enviable. It's just amazing. That said, there's still some things that we need to work on and we need your help with. Dr. Scott, Houston County Board of Education, we thank you so very much for all you're doing for our kids. We've got some amazing schools in Houston County. We've worked together closely on some key issues that affect the transition of military kids as they come in and out of Houston County schools. We thank you for all you're doing for our families. That said, the community at large, we need to continue to make sure that those kids that live in base housing have access to schools that are important to their continued development. Military kids will go to, on average, twice as many schools as someone who grows up in a single area. And they deal with the absence of one parent off to a deployment a frequent amount of time. And so it's so important to have something to hang on to. So if you have a kid in youth sports that's grown up in youth soccer or youth baseball, by the time they're in high school, they're ready for college, right? But when you move from base to base, sports, academics, things like music and other programs, it's tough to maintain any continuity if you can't get into the schools that will allow you to have that. We need something for our military kids to hang on to while their parents are continuing to serve the Air Force. Never want our families to have to make a choice between serving in the military or supporting the family. So we look forward to your continued help on that. We need to find ways to continue to attract and retain professionals in STEM career fields, medical, legal, and so many others. We have a voracious, almost insatiable capacity for professionals on Robbins, and as the nature of our mission grows and changes, we just need more and more. We're thankful to our higher education systems, our Board of Regents, all our educational partners for working with us to not only raise them and educate them here, but to employ them and retain them here. That said, there are some opportunities there to continue to help that, and we look forward to your continued support.